Hey folks, Shadeslay here with the weekly roundup of all things new in the world of iOS gaming. It's a mixed bag this week, with some big name releases that have turned out to be even bigger disappointments. Thankfully, I've also got a small handful of new games that are worth your money and attention. On top of that, there's the usual look at this week's updates, and a quick peek at what's coming up. First though, a new release that you've been anticipating and dreading in equal measure, RollerCoaster Tycoon for mobile by Atari and On5. The theme park management sim takes its name from the massively popular PC series created by design legend Chris Sawyer. When Sawyer's own development house brought the classic Transport Tycoon to mobile in 2013, it was widely regarded as a success, offering an experience true to the original. This is what we've been hoping for from the new RollerCoaster Tycoon, but many feared Atari would repeat EA's treatment of Dungeon Keeper. I try to keep the weekly roundup impartial, but this week I'm making an exception. RollerCoaster Tycoon for mobile is a horrific free-to-play experience, except it's not free-to-play. At least EA had the decency to make their abomination free. Atari are charging £1.99, $2.99 in the US, and offering nothing in return. I'm including it in this week's roundup because I want to spare you the disappointment. Don't assume that the price tag and pedigree give this game any credibility at all. It's out now, but I'm sorry to report that it's one to avoid. Moving on, I'm going to get this week's second disappointment out the way now. I promise I'll get onto the good stuff soon. So, Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff, from Fox and TinyCo. First up was the botched launch. The game went live on the New Zealand App Store on Tuesday. A couple of hours later, it was pulled, and Fox began issuing copyright strikes against anybody who had posted content from the game on YouTube or Twitch. It was a colossal overreaction, and it's received plenty of criticism. The game itself seems well presented, mirroring the TV show's artistic and comedy stylings and featuring plenty of classic references. Gameplay is along the lines of The Simpsons Tapped Out, and requires you to rebuild Quahog from the ground up, following its destruction during Peter's fight with a giant chicken. Along the way, you'll undertake various missions and unlock new characters. I have no doubt that the game will be a commercial success. Tapped Out has netted revenue of over $100 million, and The Quest for Stuff is currently averaging a 4-star rating on the App Store. Fans will no doubt find something to amuse them in between the tedious timers, but I don't see the appeal myself. It feels like you'd have to spend some serious money on in-app purchases to make the experience enjoyable, and I can't help but think there are hundreds of better games that you can invest your time and cash into. Family Guy The Quest for Stuff is free to download and available on the App Store and Google Play now. I'd love to know what you think, so give it a go, then leave me a comment and tell me I'm wrong. As promised, it's not all doom and gloom. This week saw a welcome return of the Windup Knight in Windup Knight 2 for iOS and Android from Robot Invader. For those who haven't played the original, this is a simple platform sprinter. Your clockwork character dashes through each level, avoiding the generously scattered traps and pitfalls along the way. Without having to worry about movement or direction, it's up to the player to dodge, duck, jump and slash at the right time. There are no lives, one hit and you're either back to the start or the most recent checkpoint. There are notable improvements on the first game, including updated graphics, but the core gameplay seems true to the original, still incredibly challenging and underpinned by the same endearingly funny interludes. There are in-app purchases, but these will only help you so much. The developer claims to have taken care to avoid a pay-to-win scenario. It also supports pretty much any controller you might want to try. Windup Knight 2 is available for iOS and Android now. You can try it for free, then unlock the whole game for £2.49 or $3.99 in the US. Next up is Spy Wars by Hot Head Games, a free-to-play strategy game that puts you in command of a team of special agents caught in the middle of a global spy war. The familiar free-to-play mechanics and in-app purchases are present, but this game feels refreshingly different. The graphics, music and sound effects are spot on, the build timers seem reasonable, and it's quite possible to enjoy a decent 20-minute session before you have to put the game down and let your energy recharge. As with other long-haul strategy games, you build a base which will generate resources over time. With the resources, you further upgrade your base, recruit new agents and improve their skills. You can then send them on missions against other agencies in campaign mode or against other players in PvP. Obviously, these are only my first impressions, but so far, Spy Wars has grabbed my attention. It's on the App Store now, and it won't cost you a dime to give it a go. That's all for new games this week, but sitting somewhere between new games and updates is the third episode in Telltale Games' gritty point-and-click adventure, The Wolf Among Us. For those who haven't come across it before now, the game is based on the Fables comic book series by Bill Willingham and features a clandestine community in New York City made up of characters from popular folklore and fairy tale. In the role of Bigby Wolf, sheriff of the Fable community, episode 3 continues where the second left off. I've already played the new episode start to finish, and, as with previous episodes, it's a highly polished experience built around a dark and compelling story. It's very much for an adult audience, with strong language throughout and frequent scenes of graphic violence. If that doesn't deter you, episode 1 is available on the App Store for £2.49 or $4.99 in the US. You can then unlock episodes 2, 3 and the as yet unreleased 4 and 5 for an additional £10.49 or $14.99. It may sound like a lot, but it's no more than you pay for the latest film on Blu-ray, and it has far greater replay value. Other updates this week include the brand new Blossom River episode for Angry Birds Rio. Timed to coincide with the cinema release of Rio 2, the update includes 20 new levels with 6 hidden bonus levels to unlock. And there's also an Easter-themed update for Liqui Physics puzzler Feed Me Oil 2, which turns your oil into delicious molten chocolate and adds a new chapter with 15 levels. Time now to take a look at what's coming up, starting with Warhammer 40k Carnage. Following hot on the heels of last week's lazy, lane-based strategy game Storm of Vengeance, Carnage is a side-scrolling action RPG that looks to feature great graphics and hours of solid gameplay. Joining the fight between Space Marines and the Orc Menace, you'll guide a lone Marine equipped with powerful weapons through packs of evil Orcs. The game includes 50 levels, various weapon and armour combinations, and it should be available for iOS and Android in May. And finally, Gameloft have released a first look at their upcoming game in partnership with Marvel, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Graphically, it looks just as impressive as we'd expect. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be open world based and allow you to web sling, wall crawl and fight with criminals across the streets of New York. It also features a bunch of customisable Spidey suits. This will be a premium game, but expect there to be in-app purchases available. Look out for it on iOS, Android and Windows Phone on April the 17th, a few weeks ahead of the official movie debut. That's it for this week. Don't forget that you can stay up to date with all the latest mobile gaming news and reviews at www.gamemob.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at ShadeslayPlays for regular news and opinion on anything and everything related to mobile gaming. I'll be back same time, same place next week with another update. Until then, I've been Shadeslay. Bye for now.